Hi everyone! So I was recording a video about the global energies during August 2025 and I started to talk a little bit too much during the introduction, and I thought maybe it would be good to make a small video for whoever is interested in my very tiny, small, fresh, young channel on YouTube. So what I wanted to talk about is how did I come from being a marketer and partying way too much in Berlin, where I was living for 5 years, and being oblivious of so many things, to where I am now, in a aligned with myself, living in a much more harmonious life, tuning in the energy of the Christ and the energy of the divine source of unconditional love, which is for me a way to describe God, what God carries, right? Because I am not religious. I'm connected with the Christ, of course. I'm connected to a lot of different energies as well, but I do not, it's true that I reject religion as an institution because of what it is today and what it has been. But it has nothing to do with spirituality, Christian spirituality and faith. That is something that I am aligned with, obviously. And yeah, and it started with my birth, of course. Of course, there's events in my childhood, trauma in my childhood, that lead me to have a certain construction with people. I was really a people pleaser, impossible to say no. My mom has also Arabic influence culture, because she's half Algerian. I mean, not half, she's fully Kabyle, but she's been living in France for some time. My father is French. But anyway, so there's this Oriental education that it's not something I aligned with so much. So it caused a lot of, it's all this set of influence. We all have a childhood, we all have all this pack of influences, the baggage that our parents put on our back, with extremely good stuff and stuff that we might need to get rid of during our life as we mature. All of this is quite normal. In my family, the topic of God, the topic of the invisible entities, energies, all of those have always been there. My grandfather on my mother's side was interacting with four-dimensional beings, so ghosts, entities. My mom saw orbs all her childhood, and I saw multiple people in my rooms as well when I was a child. And I was always very passionate, I always found it magical, like the idea that there's entities around us. Never been so scared, unless when I saw this woman in my room. So I think I was 14 or 15, I think so, or maybe 16, I don't remember. I just woke up during the night and I saw a shadow in my room, but it's like a woman, but in full transparency, but I could see the details of all her clothes. If someone has seen someone in their room, it would be amazing if they could comment their stories as well, because it's super interesting that I see someone in transparency, I feel her presence, but I also see all the details, and I could even be there with her, meaning I could see the vibe of the context of her environment. So you see, I'm not even sure if I saw a person who is now not living on this earth plan, so someone in the fourth dimension, or if I saw a moment, a memory trapped in space and came to me. I have no clue. I'm not a quantum physician or anything. But I saw her, I freaked out. I closed my eyes and I put a blanket over myself. And then I waited for maybe three good minutes. I regulated my breath. I was really terrified. And then I pulled the blanket again and I looked in the same direction. And she was still here. And she turned towards me and she smiled at me. And she was carrying absolutely beautiful, normal energies. There was nothing wrong with her, but I obviously freaked out and I turned on the light and then she was gone. But yeah, that was very strange. I think when you wake up and you see someone in your room, that's different than if you wake up, you see someone in your room, close your eyes for 3 minutes, you awake, and then see her again and feel her presence. It's absolutely crazy. I could draw her face right now. Like it's crazy how my brain just remember everything about her. So yeah, there was a few events. A lot of my family members have similar situations, have interesting situations. So there was some kind of opening. I was not blocked to that at all. We are not religious in my family, but we are highly spiritual. We are not attached to any specific religion. We do connect more with Christianity and Christian values in general, and the Christic energy in general. But it's more about faith, and it's more about trusting God's plan, trusting that God is everywhere. And when I say God, I mean the energy, the energy it represents. I don't think God is like someone, like I think it's an energy. It's more than, it's expansive. It's everywhere, and it's just the energy of unconditional love, the energy of everything, the energy of life. So yeah, that's where I come from, with opening to this and with some childhood trauma. I'm talking about abuse. And so that led to a quite difficult adolescence. I was highly perfectionist. I was a people pleaser. I could not say no. So I attracted quite dangerous situations, addictions, multiple addiction, where I was challenged to get rid of my conditioning, to learn how to say no, to learn to let go, because I felt so insecure and always unsafe. Get rid of my addictions, all of these things. My addictions was like coating or filling in all the wound, was pushing down all the wound and the darkness that I was not willing to see. And then the pandemic came in 2019. And it's incredible. I had no idea of like what the deep state is or whatever, all of these things. I was completely oblivious and uninterested in that at all. Spirituality as well. I did certification in Reiki because I was open to the idea. I was intellectually open to the idea of energy healing, but I was not feeling it. It was not part of my essence and identity just yet. So I did all of that. And I was still in my pattern of addictions. I was trapped in this cycle. I was partying a lot in Paris, then moved to Berlin. It was quite dark times, of course. And so the pandemic happened, and I remember that everyone was freaking out, and I really could not understand, because it's like for some reason I realized I had trust in my ability of self-healing and I don't know. I think I didn't think too much about it as well, I was quite detached from the overall situation. I think that's it. Anyway, so when the topic of the vaccine open, so when this discussion opened, I didn't have much opinion, but I was not rushing to get a vaccine at all. And so a lot of my colleagues and friends got the jab. And so very quickly, I saw adverse reaction. Most of my friends didn't have their period anymore, or had a lot of pain, or were bleeding way too much. Yeah, and so that invited me into the rabbit hole of the pandemic, the COVID jab, big pharma, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, I guess a lot of people also kind of woke up during the pandemic. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into all of that because that's a crazy story, but I'm very happy I have this knowledge and awareness on what's actually happening in the world, the game of power, the deep state, who's controlling the world, our own power and divinity. I had no clue about that, but like discovering the darkness and understanding the dark forces and what the objectives of the dark forces, and I don't say that I have the truth. I might not know the truth, but I feel like I have a slightly better understanding of the what is at play on earth and the spiritual warfare going on, and the current times we are in. So yeah, so all of this happened, a great awakening happened, and with this great awakening, I unleashed and unlocked my capacities to channel. I started to hear things. I had a lot of synchronicities in my life. I started to see things differently. I was more contemplative in general. I really slowed down. I changed my nutrition, my lifestyle. I get out of my addiction. So I did a lot of shadow work and work on myself to be a better person, to take care of myself, to love myself. And as I was doing that, all these crazy events and synchronicities were coming to me, coming into my life. And following that, I discovered my ability to feel, see, hear information. Yeah, at the beginning, not really understanding where they were coming from, if it was my mind, if I was just like seeing things differently. But then very quickly, that became stronger. So when I would channel information, I would have physical sensations that are like beyond understanding. Like having a sentence scrolling in my mind about someone and having all the sensations in my body. Can be vibration, it can be intense goosebumps that last for 5 minutes, crying, laughing, short breath. They're gonna say it's long COVID. No, I'm kidding. And yeah, and so I was sometimes dreaming things that would happen to my friend the next day, completely random things, nothing important. Once I dreamt that I dreamt that I was cutting veggies next to the sink and washing my veggies, and then my laptop was full of water and broke. And when I woke up, a friend texted me to tell me how bad he felt that his laptop broke because he was watching a video too close from the sink while he was washing his veggies. He put water accidentally on his laptop and it broke. And I was like, source, why do you send me messages like this? And it was not meaningful at all, but it was just to put me in the path of discovering these abilities. And it's not just about being able to channel, it's about understanding that we are much more than we think, that our capacities are much more than we think. And the fact that we are squished into this lifestyle, into our work, daily life, into this low, or not low, but dense vibrations of fear and like always being in the mind and anticipating and all of this thing and bombarded with information, etc. We forget and we lose these abilities. I also believe that it goes beyond that. I think that there is an agenda, and there has been an agenda for a very, very, very long time, to alter our biology, to alter our physical abilities, our health, to get as far as possible from those. From our divine identity and from our connection with God, with consciousness. And yeah, anyway, that's already a lot. Yeah, so it's kind of my journey, and I think I completely switch off and on, completely reset myself a few times already. Like one big time in 2021, so 2 years after the pandemic. I lost a lot of friends because I didn't want to get the jab. At some point I was quite sure of that, of my opinion or my intuition not to get a jab. I lost a flat as well. I was living with someone. The landlord just told me to get out because I was not safe. Like I was not clean because I was not jabbed, you know, like crazy thing. I was not safe for his friends to visit him. Anyway, so I lost a lot of things, which actually enabled enabled me to have space and time and energy just for myself to reset and to get better, to let go of all the bad habits. That I now see with a lot of compassion. You know, I really now see myself and all the shit I've done with a lot of compassion. Yeah, and forgiveness. So yeah, it's kind of my journey. I don't know. I hope that resonated. I hope that was not too long. 16 minutes, I think that's all right. I could have gone in much more details, but that's the essence of it. Yeah, and so yeah, it's been only 2 years that I've been channeling on a daily basis. I do that for my friends, I do that for my family, and I registered my business yesterday, actually. Yesterday, I didn't know, but it was the new moon in Lion, which is basically an invite to align with your true self, with your true divine identity, which I think is quite a cool date to officialize and go to the town hall, register your business, and become energy healer and like mediumship, doing mediumship. So I will be starting a business. I've done it hundreds of times now for friends and family and friends of friends. So now I thought it's nice to take it seriously and maybe do it my job. Let's see. It's gonna grow. I need to take my time. I don't want to make any mistakes. I do not want to fall into the spiritual new age thing as well. That's why I would not do so much marketing. I just want people to organically know me. I want people to know me via YouTube. That would be awesome, and I want to do these videos. So yeah. Anyway, feel free to drop a comment. I would love to hear what you feel about my video, if you have a similar experience. I know that the pandemic was very pivotal, like a turning point for many people. And I always love to meet people like that. We usually have various opinions but similar values, so it's quite cool. Anyway, and I wish you, all of you, amazing holidays, amazing summer, lots of love, lots of fun. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!